Welcome to our posts. Today we will see stories of our entitled people. A customer freaks out after seeing a pride flag in my bakery. Hello. I'm a straight mom. My daughter came out as a lesbian not so long ago, so I've been showing support in many ways, including placing a little pride flag next to the cash register in my bakery. Nothing had changed at work, but yesterday a woman from around my age came in. She seemed normal at first, took a look at some cakes, and then approached me and asked for a birthday cake. We spoke about what she wanted, discussed prices, and she was about to pay in full in advance to get it done, and then noticed the pride flag. She said, "What is that?" I kindly answered, "A rainbow flag." Then, she went from normal to furious in a second, shouting, "Take that out, don't want to see it." Dumbfounded, I asked, "Is there a problem with it?" She said, "You are infringing my religious freedom." I was about to ask how that infringes her religious freedom, when got interrupted by, "Are you one of them?" I answered, "No, I'm not, but someone I care for is." "Then who is it?" At this point she was on my face, but I replied with, "That is not your business." She stepped back and said, "I won't buy anything from you. You just lost a customer." Fortunately she left, but still shocked me. I had to get off the counter to get some fresh air. It really felt bad to be insulted like that out of nowhere. I later told my husband what happened. He said that it's for the better if that woman never comes back. We both agreed to do not tell our daughter, since it might be heartbreaking for her. I've been professionally baking for years, and this is the first time it happens. Sure, we got some crazy bridezillas in the past, but nobody called me a slur. Is this what queer people have to endure daily? Just thinking about it makes me sad. Next story. I told my horrible cousin I wouldn't be the maid of honor, and I don't feel bad about it. I am 27-year-old woman, have a cousin 26-year-old woman with whom I had a remarkably close relationship to the point that we were like sisters. That all changed when she was responsible for incidents that to this day made me reconsider our cousin-sister relationship. In 2012, when I was 16, she gave me a strong relaxer that caused me to cut off 14 inches of hair. For context, I used to relax my hair and it was always soft or regular since I have fine hair. Her reasons? Because she started dating my ex and he would not stop talking about my hair or my natural beauty. She stole friends, and possible boyfriends, turned family members against me, would rub in my face that she was my grandmother's favorite, made fun of me for going back to my curly hair, mocked me for losing my older brother, slept with my ex while on the process of moving together. She made a post on Facebook mocking me for giving birth to my dead baby while 7 months pregnant. She even left threatening notes and an effing voodoo doll on my car. I can keep going, but I do not want to make this any longer by explaining how F up she is. I tried to get a restraining order on her, but the police thought I did not have enough evidence. I had texts of her admitting to doing it, but it was not enough, or as one police told me, it could be faked. So, I blocked her from all my social media and blocked her number, and the only times I would only see her were at family gatherings, but I would avoid her since I did not want her situation in my life or avoid her not to have my mental health triggered by her. So, in June she got engaged to my ex, 33M, and I found out from family members. For context, I found them together, and instead of screaming and crying, I laughed and told them to enjoy my sloppy seconds. So, my aunt was celebrating her anniversary with a barbecue, meaning I would see her. I went and I was having an enjoyable time, but when at the table one of my aunts asked her how the wedding planning was going, and she could not help but brag that it was good, and now she had an announcement, and she looked at me with a devil smile. She asked me in front of anyone if I wanted to be her maid of honor, since thanks to me, they both met. I was cold and told her no. She whined about why not, and all I gave her was a look, and she said that it's time for me to put effort into fixing our sister-cousin relationship. I laughed and told her that by the time she is having her wedding I would be in college finals, and after that a month-long trip for my anniversary, and it was better than seeing two clowns getting married. Plus I told her the reasons I said no, plus the little spoiled girl wants a Christmas wedding. She started crying and yelled that if I do not do this that I am not invited to the wedding. I looked at her and said coldly fine by me and walked away, leaving her with a surprised Pikachu face. I have not spoken to her since that day, but all my family members support me since they all saw how much of a horrible person she is. Next story. My entitled ex-family shows up at my job. My ex-in-laws and my ex showed up at my effing job during the biggest event of the year. Every year at my job, there is a Christmas-themed party. The dancers dress up as sexy elves, my boss dresses up as Santa, the bartenders dress up as reindeer, and the bouncers dress up as snowmen. The place is beautifully decorated as a winter wonderland with a huge throne for my boss to sit on and custom poles for the dancers to dance around him. It's a huge thing at my job, and it is always one of the highest grossing nights of the years. It's advertised all over town that people can come, get their pictures taken with us, sit on Santa's lap, and enjoy a fun evening with custom Christmas music made by a DJ. We even have Christmas-themed drinks, guys. And they are so good. I was so excited for it because I started working there this year, so it was my first time being part of this event. I was dancing that evening, so I was dressed up as a sexy elf. I was feeling great. It was pretty late into the evening, around midnight, when this incident took place. I was dancing on stage when out of nowhere, I heard the shrieking sound of my ex-mother-in-law crying. I turned around and there they were. Ex-mother-in-law, ex-father-in-law, and effing Bill. Ex-mother-in-law was slapping at Bill's arm and pointing at me. I couldn't make out what she was saying over the music. All I could hear was the shrill sound of her voice. I started looking around for Kyle, my boyfriend. I couldn't see him, but I did see other bouncers, so I waved at them, trying to get their attention. We have a special wave that when a bouncer sees it, they know to come running. Bill comes to the stage and starts shouting at me while the men around him were waving cash at me. He tells me to come down and to come with him, that I was bringing shame to his family. I ignored him. I saw a couple bouncers heading for us, so I kept dancing, believing I was saved. That was protocol. Call the bouncer and keep working to avoid making a scene. It was then I felt someone grab my ankle and pull. In my panic, I fall and let out a scream. I look up and it's Bill. He had pulled himself onto the stage and grabbed me. I start kicking at him with my other foot until the bouncers finally got there and pulled him away from me. I feel someone else grab me and I screamed again, but when I looked up I saw it was Kyle. Bill and my ex-in-laws were taken into the office, while I was taken backstage to ride out the panic attack. Kyle held me until I calmed down. The police were called and I got to watch as Bill was forced into the back of a police cruiser in handcuffs. He's being charged with public disturbance, assault, and trespassing. My boss was talking to my ex-in-laws, telling them not to come back and warned them the police would be called if they did. Despite how pissed he was, my boss was pretty calm and polite. I then heard ex-mother-in-law shouting about how she was going to take me to court to take my children away from me because a godless whore like me wasn't fit to be a mother. I couldn't take hearing that and I rushed at her. Kyle had to grab me and stop me, but I was screaming at her that she was a psychopath and she would never get her hands on my kids again, that she had raised a lying, cheating, emotionally abusive scumbag. She raised a hand to slap me, but the bouncers and police got between us. She and ex-father-in-law got into their car and drove off after being threatened with arrest. After calm had been restored, we all went back inside and resumed the party. I made good money that night. Even Samantha, my job's entitled gossip, couldn't deny what Bill and my ex-in-laws did was crazy. Over the weekend, I got a call from someone claiming to be Bill's ex-girlfriend. The one he cheated on me with. I asked her how she got my number and she said she had her ways. She said she decided to call me after Bill called her begging to get bailed out. She told me that during their relationship, ex-mother-in-law treated her like crap and compared me and her a lot and always acted like she wasn't good enough. She was relieved when they went to Greece, believing her and Bill's relationship could be salvaged at that point, but she was wrong. Bill would also talk about me a lot, and she was always crying about being compared to his ex. When I got the job at the club, his behavior became more erratic. She told me that she confronted him after he was thrown out of the club because word travels fast and she heard about the whole thing. He got pissed and slapped her, then threw her out of his house. She got him arrested and he was fired from his job as a result. I thanked her for the information and promptly told her never to call me again. She asked me why and I told her that she had no issue cheating with Bill and hurting his wife and kids and that she was only calling me to get back at him for what he's done to her. I hung up and blocked her. I plan to go file for a restraining order today, but now I am armed with more information that will make the process so much easier and go so much faster. Win for me. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel or posts.